What's good, everyone? Jets take off another embarrassing, deflating, and defeating loss, 34-13. It's hard to imagine that people will not get fired. Joe Douglas, general manager, has got to go. He's constructed one of the worst offensive rosters we've ever seen. Worse than the one that Adam Gase had to coach with. Nathaniel Hackett has got to go too. His play calling is uninspiring. It's not creative. It's predictable for fans. So you can only imagine how top defensive coordinators like Vic Fangio are going to see what's going to be happening. And he's not scheming guys open. He has also got to go. And if the Jets continue on this losing streak, once again, like they did last season, well, then Robert Saleh will be getting fired too. This Jets game was an utter disaster once again. We got outcoached, we got outplayed, we got outschemed. Every single thing went wrong again. And the thing is, the Jets were close to having a somewhat close game at halftime, where if they came out of halftime, maybe they could have stuck to the original game plan. But you know what happens? The Jets, in true Jets fashion, give up a Hail Mary pick six. This team, they take a one step forward, they take 3 steps back. It is unbelievable. And that's an indicator on bad coaching, on bad personnel decisions. The thing is, I don't understand how Woody Johnson can take himself as a serious NFL owner and not make changes and see what is happening on this field and what his product is and not fire people and hold people accountable. Joe Douglas, number 1. Number 2/1A, Nathaniel Hackett. And then number 2, Robert Saleh. The team is collapsing again in front of our eyes, except it's happening sooner. And the Jets, they're already eliminated from playoff contention. What makes us have faith in this Jets team as fans? Because coaching is not there. We get outcoached weekly. Saleh is standing on the sidelines like a lame duck. The players, do we see any true improvement? Like roster-wise, yeah, we have a lot. We should have a better roster, but we're somehow getting blown out by multiple touchdowns. It is ridiculous right now. It really is. And it's like the quarterback was not going to change this entire season. I think we all as Jets fans knew that. And that's why the blame lands on Joe Douglas so much for whiffing on offensive line. It is freaking absurd how much Joe Douglas has betrayed and let this team down with his offensive line construction. He really deserves to get fired. And I don't want to hear people defending him for that 2022 draft class. You know what? Anyone with a resemblance of football IQ and football knowledge knew that Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and Jermaine Johnson were all going to be good NFL players. The only thing I give him credit there for is by waiting and seeing if Jermaine Johnson would fall to him. That's the only move in that draft to give him credit for. You can see Michael Clemens today. He was drafted in that same class. What did he do? He freaking punched a referee, and the referee was bleeding. He got ejected. Enough. Man, this team is so disappointing because you see no direction. You see 0 changes being made. I don't care what Aaron Rodgers thinks. I simply do not care at this point. Nathaniel Hackett has got to go. He has got to get exiled to Rikers Island. Enough is enough. This dude comes out week in, week out, no offensive game plan. Predictability is his number 1 issue. The 2nd and 10 runs drive me up a wall. They seriously do. I would rather be hanged by like nails to a wall than having to watch this Jets offense because it's so infuriating. It's predictable, it's boring, it's bland, there's no creativity. The offensive coordinator is not scheming guys open. That's a bad offensive coordinator. And I swear, if we do not fire Nathaniel Hackett by the end of the season, if we cater to Aaron, listen, I get Aaron Rodgers as a Hall of Fame quarterback. It was Matt LaFleur's offense. What do we need Hackett for? There's so many better options out there. Heck, we could even poach Joe Brady from the Buffalo Bills. I would love our offense so much more if we got him or someone else. It is absurd, but Nathaniel Hackett has got to go. Because if Robert Saleh will not fire him, Robert Saleh will lose his job to Nathaniel Hackett most likely. And I seriously doubt Saleh wants to lose his job riding with Nathaniel Hackett. The Jets have 10 offensive touchdowns in Week 12. 10. Any coach who takes themselves seriously would fire Nathaniel Hackett. And Joe Douglas, he's got to go. He simply has to go. Allen Lazard, bum signing. Finally, he's inactive. He's being held accountable, but how late is this? It's week 12. I mean, ugh. This team is a disgrace. It's a disaster. The Dolphins, they played with us on offense and on defense. And when the Jets actually got the pick six, I was like, you know what? This could be the turning point. This is a must-win game, like, truly, because the season is over today. Like, it is gone. We are not making playoffs. There's way more questions than there is answers. And what do the Jets do? You know, we're trying to get some points at the end of the game. A Hail Mary. We can't even do a Hail Mary right. And it blows up in our face. It blows up and combusts in front of Robert Saleh. He has the audacity to say, well, you know, I've faith and confidence in the guys in the second half. No, you don't. You don't have confidence. This team is broken. It's destroyed. The locker room is going to erupt. I cannot wait to see Garrett Wilson freaking slam the offense. I cannot wait for Sauce Gardner to start throwing more shade at the defense, because you know what? I don't blame them. I don't blame them. Nathaniel Hackett has got to go. I am sick of seeing his face week in, week out. Joe Douglas. He has seriously got to get fired. I am done with his antics. He's had 6 first-round picks. He was touted as an offensive line guru. And the Dolphins got pressure constantly on Tim Boyle. I get we're down backups, but that's on Joe Douglas for building an offensive line that durability was not a strength in. He relied on 40-year-old Dwayne Brown at left tackle. He relied on Mekhi Becton, who basically didn't play for 2 football seasons before this season, to be our starting tackles. You know what? Joe Douglas made those decisions on his own, and they've blown up in his face, and he deserves to be held responsible for his ineptitude. Seriously, it is disgusting. So, Jets lose 4-7. It's done. What even is there to look forward to this season? Because the defense, I mean, you know what? They played bad this week too, but I mean, how bad did they really play? In the first half, they were pretty good. They gave 10 points to the Dolphins, and that's about it. But when the offense does nothing, it's like the defense has got to be so demoralized. It's why they give up, because they know they have no chance at winning. So Saleh's on the verge of losing the locker room. He probably already lost it today, I'm going to be honest. And how do you salvage that? Well, you got to fire Nathaniel Hackett. Give Todd Downing the play calling. It is absurd at this point. There's nothing good about this season anymore. Let me know, Jets fans. What do you think about this disgusting blowout loss to the Miami Dolphins? It is truly embarrassing. So I will see you all in the next one. Peace.